Today's the day. Old Uncle JP down there. Where are we at here? Jackson Hole, and he is doing his big speech today. Everybody's waiting. This is it. This is it. I don't know if somebody knows what he's going to say ahead of time or not, but I'm going to tell you what the markets are saying, and of course what I'm doing. And I learned a little bit today. I should say I learned a little bit over the last week with my staked Ethereum, with my crypto and all that. And man, oh man, oh man, talk about a slap across the face when you get that big pump and you know you're way overbought. You know it's going to drop down. You sell what you can, but then you have the stake stuff and you can't get out. And you know it's going to drop. And it does. And it's like, oh, you're staking it for that 2% to 3%. And then it costs you 10% in the drop. And obviously you could have got back in after the 10%. You know, it's a whole thing. I don't know if you guys are dealing with that. That's what I'm dealing with. XRP, I had a stop loss on some additional XRP. That hit, so I still have XRP, 5 digits worth of XRP. I still got a lot of Ethereum, no Bitcoin, and I continue to watch these charts knowing what's going to happen. So I will tell you what I just did. But not before we go over this. Make sure you get in the membership right here, the Discord. Man, it was on fire this week. We had a good time. Code LEARN, LEARN. I will get you 50% off that first month for a few more days. So get in here before it expires. And of course, we got the Moomoo promotion. Deposit 100 or more. Look at that, the $20 in NVIDIA stock. That's a 20% right there. Imagine getting that. That's an awesome opportunity, plus the 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. Take advantage of it. Read about it. But you do got to use my link down below to take full advantage of it. And of course, we got 2 other things real quick. The live session is going off this Sunday. If you guys want to join me on that, code SAVE will save you 40% off this. It's an awesome class where I go over the candles. And it really does help the beginners start to understand the power of technicals. So if you are somebody that's like, I want to learn these, Mo, live with you, this is your opportunity to be in a small group session. And we're not talking thousands of people, a couple dozen here, and we're going to see what we get, and we're going to go from there. And so if this is something you're interested in, my technicals, the options, or crypto, or all 3, code SAVE will save you a ton. And then, of course, get over to the webinar. This one's on the house. I go over an hour webinar teaching my framework for successful technical analysis. Take advantage of that. All these links and more down below. Now, XRP, I'm going to give you my prediction. Of course, I've been playing it exactly what I see. And I know some people don't like it, but so far, the technicals have been spot on. I told you on this one that I absolutely expected a retest of the 50. We did. We hit the 50, and I told you the next 2 candles. And I told you this on this candle, that I thought we'd run up on the next candle, but it was the next 2 candles after that are going to be the defining candles. I don't want to be right sometimes. You know, when I'm holding on to a ton of XRP, I don't want it to go down. But the thing is, I know technicals. And these technicals are the perfect setup for the bears. And so I can tell you where I think it's going. And so when the 5 crosses the 50 right here, that is such a bearish move. Like, it's big. And we're going to bounce around here. But if that 13 crosses, absolutely expect a monster red pepper. And that's a candle here. So it did what I thought it would do. Came down, got up and teased to 5, pushed back down here. Boom. That was yesterday. And now we're on our little candle today. And to be blunt, I don't know what's going to happen today because it really does come down to the Fed. If the Fed was not involved right now, I would tell you that probably by Monday or Tuesday, I would expect the 13 to be down there teasing that 50 EMA. But the Fed has the power to change everything today. And I can't tell you what's going to happen, what the speech is, where, all that and more. But right now, this is bearish. I'm not going to be surprised to see a little retesting of the 5 EMA as we go forward, either today or down the road. But if the Fed comes out and says, we are cutting, if Jay Powell says, it's looking like we could probably start cutting in September, you're going to see this go higher. If they come out and they talk like they did on the last Fed meeting. If he comes out and he talks kind of hawkish, I got to tell you, I expect this to drop. I think he'll probably come out and be a little bit, hopefully dovish. I got my fingers crossed. What doesn't make me feel good is all this right here going into it. And I know I don't talk to him. I don't know what's going to happen. But when I see all this red, and I don't have a crystal ball, but this kind is as close as I can get to it, this doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy. Now, a lot of this is dealing with the liquidity crunch of the Treasury replenishing, but I'm going to continue to watch. All right. So this wasn't good yesterday. I went out and watched Nobody 2 yesterday after work. I just wanted a break, took my kids out and my wife, and we had a good time. It was a good movie. Bob Odenkirk is awesome. Just absolutely one of my favorite actors of all time. He just incredible. Yeah. All right. Yeah. And shout out to Chief. He was an extra in the movie, and of course he's in our Discord, so I thought that was pretty cool. I've been an extra in a movie as well, and someday we'll talk about that. But yes, it was a paid extra for me, where I actually got a paycheck, which is awesome. Yeah, here we go. So there's XRP. That's what we're looking at. Now I'm going to go to ETH, because we had a bounce last night, and you saw it right here where it pushed back up and everybody, yeah! And that is a very bearish sign. Because if we finish, I got to be blunt. I have this line here. I think 270, basically 278, if we come down to this right here. That's where I think the ultimate test is. 276 is what I was talking about in the Discord yesterday. And that's where I see a possible major bounce. We got down to the 50 EMA and that support kind of all at once and pushed all the way back up. Now we're all the way back down here to form a possible double bottom. If that did happen, oh, boys and girls, I would be excited. And that would be a good thing. If we started to bounce back up, and I would load the boat. And that's how I would look at it. If Jackson Hole, the Fed, and everything else doesn't go well, and I can't see him coming out and being someone who's trying to make this market go down, but you never know. You never know. And so I'm going to wait and see. I think you're going to have an idea what's going to happen with the price of these assets that they move. Now, the crazy thing is XRP's dropping. You would expect Ethereum and everything else, right? No, hold your horses here, folks. And I told you yesterday what I'm expecting. I'm expecting if we break here, I think we're taking off. It's going to be ridiculous. I think we're going to go to 6K real quick if we can confirm above that 4,700. I really believe that. And if we break down below right here at 4,075, oh, we're going down to the 50, which is 3,739. Now, I'm holding 6 figures worth of Ethereum. And with that being said, I believe, you know what? We sold a lot. It was roughly around there. I still need this to be green, but I have de-risked a ton. And of course, for those following along, I do well into the 6 digits with crypto in general, counting my alts and the dry or the cold wallet plus the in the Coinbase. There's a lot going on. And so I need it to be green, but it's not going to destroy the $250,000 profit I made in the last 6 weeks. If it drops down and gets to the 50, folks, it's beautiful, because now I can just reset and have that much extra cash to buy in and do it again and ride it up. And it always reminds me of just thinking about this, because some people hate the fact that I'm an active trader. Like, Mo, you just hold DCA. That's not my style, guys. I play the candles. Whatever the candles tell me, I do. And with that being said, we have had nothing but bullish candles for the longest period, and that's why you see me continuing to buy until I'm not buying, and now I'm not buying. And what I'm talking about there is if you have an asset at $100 a pop, and you just say you bought it at 50, it goes to 100, you doubled your money, right? So you saw me do pretty much that with this, but we'll stick to that example. And then at 100, you don't sell. The candles reverse like they have. I'm just going to hold. And it goes back to 50. You don't get out, all right? And it goes back up to 100. You're still up your 100%, right? But if you start at that 50, it goes up to 100. You doubled your money, you got 100. You sell because it reverses. It comes back to 50. You take that $100 and you buy at 50 and it goes back to 100 again. Not only do you have the 100, but you doubled it to 200 where the other person only has 100. Now, it would take perfect timing for that to happen, but that is why I'm actively trading. I believe I can time a lot of this. And I know I was wrong with Ethereum last time. Not totally wrong because I got in a ton of buying before lower than I sold. But I wasn't all in when I wanted to be. That told me a few things. Be careful with Ethereum. It has a lot of support. A lot. I'm seeing it now. We're way above the 50 EMA. Way above it. Look at this. Way above. Go to Bitcoin. You look at Bitcoin. Boom. Below the 50. We are now below the 50. We're on the ultimate support I have here. If this candle flushes somehow and drops down here and finishes red today, below 112, 111, anything, I think we're going all the way down to 109. 109, what do we got there? 109, 109.6. That's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going down to 109,006. So if this turns red and we finish down here, now I'll watch. I can't tell you if that's going to happen. I think a lot of it's going to depend on JP. I'm not going to be surprised to see a little consolidation here and then a flush as that 13 comes down and crosses. It's just a big part of the algorithm that a lot of these companies trade with. And that 13 crossing the 50 is a big thing that I watch when I am trading, and when I'm doing my trading sessions live over at the Discord, which it worked out well for me yesterday as well. So they're the things I look for. And then go to XRP. Are we above the 50? Are we up there? Well, one, I don't want the futures one here. XRP, Coinbase, boom. No, we're below the 50. And what I just warned about for Bitcoin is actually happening right now as I'm doing this video for XRP. We don't want to see this. We're going to see what happens here. But if this confirms here, I do believe it's a no-brainer. 276 is up next. That's why I had my stop set, and I already triggered. I still have a bunch of it left, but I continue to reduce as we fail at certain price points because there's some, it could easily reverse from here and go way back up, but normally we're going to go to the next level of support, and then you're going to see buyers step in. And buyers stepped in big time here. And so I am watching that area. And so at that point, I got to make up my mind. And so I am watching a lot of these. It's up to you what you do, but I'll share this. The overall market, this is absolutely not just crypto. Look at this. Look at this. Woo, we got the Breadbot flipping and giving us the bear signal. I haven't had this on the Qs. Oh, for goodness gracious. How long has it been? Right here. February 24th, I think. Yep. That was the last time the Breadbot has given me a signal on the Qs. Whoa, if you're in the Discord, you know, this is big. If we finish below the 50, game over in my opinion. I think we have that correction. Probably a much needed correction after we rallied, freaking 40, 50% off the bottoms, which was 400? 400 all the way up to, I think we were at like 580. I don't know. It was ridiculous though. It's something else. So it was a big move up. And so we were, how high did we get up here? 580 something from 400. That is over 40% up, 45% up. It's 45% gain, all right, in just a couple of weeks. So I'm not surprised to see like a 10% pullback and then back up we go and running. And so that's kind of what I'm waiting for. I got to be blunt at this point. You got a left shoulder here. We got the head. I'm not going to be surprised to see a little bump. And then you could see something. So I'm not excited to be all in there. I got some moves I've been researching, which I'll release over to the Discord as I get them done. And I'm pretty pumped for what I basically can't get into my moves until I see what they say at Jackson Hole. After that, we also have the liquidity issues I'm watching for from the Treasury replenishing. All that gets settled down into September. I think cryptos can start to meander back to the north. But until then, and I already told you this, I think October, November is going to be an awesome time to be in crypto. August, September, no, not so much. And that's what we're seeing. That's why you see me de-risking. And of course, I know not everybody's a fan of me de-risking, but hey, so far it's been working perfect. It worked perfect the first time I did it. We're going to see if it works perfect this time or if I'm regretting it. Either way, a push of a button, I'm all there. And so I'm just waiting for the perfect opportunity. This does make me a little nervous though. If we continue to see more red candles going down here, it really is going to make me nervous. That's a huge gap, another gap down, and we're going to see what happens as we go. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see is all I can say. Now, if you haven't done it, get into the Discord so you can follow along with everything we're teaching in there and doing. We got the expert traders. You got my 36 learning lessons and so much more. Second link for Moomoo. Take advantage of their opportunity they got. Deposit 100. There you go. Man, you can just read through these, but 8.1% APY. You can read about that, all that good stuff, but you got to use the second link down below. And of course, the live teaching session. I'm teaching this weekend. So's Dr. Stock, so's Crypto Will. You can get all three bundle. And I'll say it again, code SAVE. That's where it's at. And lastly, but not least, boom, get over to the webinar. That one's on the house. You can just sign up for that one. Watch it. It is powerful. That is it, my friends. I appreciate you stopping by. I will see you in the Discord.